Hello, test. Hey guys, it's Michael. Is it working? Test. Hey guys, it's Michael. I just want to go over a knife I've been designing, and I'm planning on attempting to make. I've only been working on it for about a day and a half, 2 days, and I want to try to actually make a fully functional knife in a month. Now this is my first one, um, so I don't know how completely functional, really how well it'll work, but I am planning on designing. I want it to be have the use and feeling of a smooth flipper like a Grimsmo or something like that. So yeah, it's obviously katana inspired, um, and I actually increased this blade surface angle after talking to Nick Chabez, um, just to increase its useful cutting range, because as of right now, it would just be able to cut from these two surfaces and that those go away very fairly quickly, and then there's the full um, width of the stock right here fairly quickly. So this is just the knife that I had set up already. I didn't feel like redoing the joints and everything like that. So I just increased on this one. I just increased the area, the length that this goes up, and moved this over a little bit, this display. That's about it. Ignore this line right here. Um, I just have to extrude that back, but yeah. So it's going to be a frame lock right here. It's going to have a detent ball and everything. I'm still deciding on how decorated I want this to be, because this, as long as it's functionally thick, this can be as curvy and as weird as you want it to be, or as plain. I haven't decided that yet. I think I'm going to have to make the knife pivot hole a bit smaller. I just used a 1/4 inch hole, but we'll see once I get the parts in. I ordered some things from Alpha Knife Supply. I'm gonna start making this from 440C, and the handles from aluminum. I may make a blade out of aluminum just in case. I actually have this aluminum. Make the handles out of now. It's gonna be a little thinner than that because that's a pretty thick blade. 0.144. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm gonna have to face that down a little bit, but that won't be any big deal. Aluminum's really easy to cut. And then in terms of decorations and aesthetics for the handles, this I've really been having a lot of fun doing it. Part of me wants to do some sort of a flower pattern, so I was just gonna uh, pattern this in a circle and then mill it out and see what comes up. Like that looks cool, but I want to do, oh, let's try 16. That's not a one. And there's no way that's gonna look like that coming off the mill, but I'm curious to see what it would look like. 8 looks cool, and then I imagine this just expanding that out in a circle and just completely making this a circle and milling it as such. Obviously, the you can't see. Obviously, the pattern that would be up here wouldn't make it. So that's one idea, and the other is that I've just been working with as of briefly, and I actually can show you in the cam real quick. Uh, Turn off far body. Okay. Um, give you an idea of what this one would look like. Simulate. Hmm. So I just did an adaptive real quick to get like no finishing pass or anything, just to get the shape to show you. So this is the pattern that I was looking at doing. I think those are about 1/2 millimeter or a millimeter deep into the actual final stock, because there's still some offset from the adaptive. It wasn't a finishing pass. So they're actually really light cuts into it, and I don't know whether to go more or less. But I imagine that would look really cool holding it in a hand. If you notice the example when I accidentally made it left-handed. I have a right-handed, I'm making the flower pattern on the right-handed handles. It's really easy. You just mirror the same handles across a plane, and it's right-handed again. Um, I have my stop pin. I have everything worked out in terms of distances and locations, except for the detent ball, but I'm going to do that by feel instead of trying to pinpoint it out. But the issue is actually machining it to those tolerances, not exactly designing it. So yeah, there's just want to make a quick video about that. Uh, I would appreciate any suggestions or um, just hints and tips because I've never made a knife before. Actually, the only knife I have is not even my knife. It's a friend is letting me borrow it because he's a knife person, knife head, knife gatherer, knife collector, something. And oh, here it is. Yeah, it's a CRKT Shizuka no Ken. It's a frame lock, not a flipper. Has a lock here too to keep it from closing or to keep myself from opening the tab. Uh, I told him it was katana inspired, and so he gave me this. I just meant in terms of blade shape and curve and design and aesthetics. I'm going to try to see if I can put a harmone on it. I have a couple of good ideas, or I think good ideas about etching the blades. I want to try to use a photosensitive material to put some sort of coating on, or dip the blade once it's made in the resin or whatever it is, and then use light to cure certain parts of the resin, then rinse it off, then etch, and then because of the difference in etch time between the resin and the blade parts that are coated in the resin and the blade parts that are not coated in the resin, there'd be a difference in etch. Now I don't know how that would go. I've never etched anything. And then also there's that's just that is without heat treating or anything like that. Second, additionally, I could do the same process but with um, heat flame etching or paint flame cheat. So think of normally if you're making a harmone, you paint clay on in your pattern and then you heat treat it or you heat it up, and then different compounds form in different parts of the blade depending on how quickly they heat up and cool down. And so when you etch that, different patterns emerge. That's why um, I don't have the my girlfriend's samurai swords around me. But yeah, that's why the wavy pattern is called a harmone, and that's how you get that. So I'm just gonna play around with that when I get it done. But first, I'm gonna have to machine out of aluminum. I'll film that in a later video. But I just wanted to give, I guess this is kind of an expectation or something that I can hold myself to. Because if I just say I'm gonna do it and then I don't, it's so easy just to keep designing, play games, make other things, mess with red noses. I don't know, there's a million and one things to do. Keep trying to find new cutters to sell. I sell this is a half-inch high-speed steel end mill. I have a solid carbide ALCR encoded. Like I have all of these that I sell online. Actually, it's interesting. Part of the reason I do that is so I can afford these nicer tools because I didn't. It's hard for me to justify buying these tools and then having like inevitably breaking them or not really getting money out of them or getting my money back because I'm just kind of playing around on my machine. Uh, so reselling them, or first off, I have a whole bunch. I have hundreds, literally hundreds of windmills here that I can use, and then I'm making my money. I'm either making money or breaking even, or at the very case, losing a very small amount of money. Um, but that's if I break 50 end mills, which, no, not 50, probably like 20 end mills, which I won't. So, but yeah, I just want to make a quick video on that. Tell me, I'm new to this YouTube thing, or like the design, machining stuff. I think I need to rant less and have more of a point to my videos. But just let me know if there's anything you'd recommend. Um, Thanks, Nick Shabazz, for commenting on my knife. I'm gonna send to some other people and see what they think. I want to get as much worked out in the design phase so I can kind of lessen my work time later. But yeah, thanks.